Hi, everybody. Dr. Gustin here, and welcome to week number 7. In week number 7, we have an exam number 2, and some lecture material on heart and blood vessels. What I'm recommending is for exam number 2 to even though it's due on Sunday, I recommend that you take it sooner because you still have week 7 materials to do this week, which are not on the exam, and you'll do that later in the week after you've studied for the exam and taken it. So I highly recommend that you take the exam first. One thing I want you to just remind you or just alert you to when you go to take that exam is study. All the information's in your study guide, but also I noticed that I had a lot of questions that relate to red blood cells and hemoglobin and the function of hemoglobin and what goes wrong if you don't have enough hemoglobin. So make sure you know all that material, as well as everything else, but make sure you know about hemoglobin before you take the test. So exam number 2. Let's see, week 6 we did some discussions and where you told me some stories about some of the material you were talking about, and I haven't had a chance to grade those at the time of this recording. So I'll probably comment on those during the week 8 video. Meanwhile, once you're done exam number 2, exam number 2 is also an honor lock exam. So if you've changed devices, make sure you go back and do that honor lock practice again. You can do the honor lock practice as many times as you want, and you just to make sure that you're ready to do the exam. So exam number 2, get that done early in the week. Once you're done that, we have a lab quiz and a lecture quiz on heart and blood vessels. And you'll notice that I'm recommending that you do the lab before the lecture. And so I have the lab listed first, and there's also a lab quiz. Now, I just wanted to point out a little bit of what you see in your lab handout. And we're going to be looking at the heart, the structure, and the circulation of the heart. And one of the diagrams I have in your lab handout has you label all the parts, and they're on here. And then the other thing I want you to do is there's a section that asks you to fill the blanks into the circulation of the blood through the heart. And what you should be able to do is go on this diagram or go on one of the pictures of a real heart and trace that blood circulation. It kind of starts off like this. You say, and kind of use your finger and trace on this picture. Deoxygenated blood comes in through the superior and the inferior vena cava into the right atrium, and it goes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle and out the pulmonary valve to the pulmonary arteries and to the lungs. And then you're going to trace it back from the lungs in the pulmonary veins into the left atrium through the bicuspid, also known as the mitral valve, into the left ventricle and out the aortic valve and out the aorta and through the body. You should be able to do that by heart. And I would be able to do that if I were you before you took your quiz, before you took your lecture or your lab quiz, because it's going to be really helpful to know that before you do those quizzes. Let's see. So we have a lab quiz, and then we have the lecture material. The lecture material is a little bit shorter this week because of the addition of having a test. And then you also have a lecture quiz that you get 2 tries just like all the others. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Good luck this week, and do well on the test. Good luck. Take care.